Hello everyone and welcome back today for round 12 out of 21 of this Formula 1 World Championship, where we are Sebastian Vettel trying to get him his 5th World Championship before he potentially leaves the sport after announcing that he's left Ferrari. But let's get into it for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
The excitement is starting to build here at the Hungaroring as the lights are about to go green for today's qualifying session. We expect some cars out on track any moment now. I want to talk briefly about the strategy in these qualifying sessions. Anthony Davidson, how can a driver adjust their approach to gain those critical extra tenths of a second?
Well, qualifying isn't about adjusting your approach necessarily, it's more about trying to repeat a low fuel run that you've practiced prior to this session. You're looking for perfection on the lap, and that's hard to achieve if you're trying something new. There are some variables that can stand in your way, however. Track position or unexpected yellow flags, for example. Coupled with ever-changing track conditions, it's important to be out there at the right moment. But as a driver, you have to try and ignore these distractions and just keep your mind focused on that one perfect lap.
So, unlike what I said last time out in Germany, this is not the Italian Grand Prix. I got myself mixed up. We are at the Hungaroring for the Hungarian Grand Prix. On goes the setup, and just as always, we're going to have a one-shot qualifying. And yeah, we're going to get into it for round 12 actually, up to 21. So just past the halfway phase, now into turn 1. Braking just after the 100-meter board, down to 3rd gear. Open up the DRS, down to 4th place. I don't expect the Ferrari to be all too good around this track. So the long left-hander for a little bit of a quick right, and then quite a tricky corner actually. It's an uphill fast left-hander, which is really easy to spin and lose the rear at. And then followed by the right-hander, which is you don't want to get onto the white curb on the right, otherwise it can cause the car to go into a spin. Now into the hairpin. We cleanly took that actually without riding too much curb, and that's actually put us into the lead for the qualifying session so far. Coming through the mid stages of the track, we go a little bit wide, it's quite wide actually. Now down to 3rd gear as we approach sector 3. Braking just under the Fanatec sign. For a left-hander, the penultimate corner, now into the final corner, which is a swooping right-hander. We haven't taken the best of lines there. We're going to open the DRS, it's going to be 4th place.
We're all ready for tomorrow's race, but before we begin, let's have a quick look at those who will be fronting the grid. Hamilton, Bottas, and Max Verstappen. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
So there is your starting grid, but we'll go more in, we'll have another look at it in the race. So let's get into round 12 for the Hungarian Grand Prix here at the 2019 FIA Formula 1 World Championships. I love saying that.
If you can't tell by the roar of the crowds, it's race day, and I think it's gearing up to be a really special one. "14 corners then for our drivers to navigate at the 2.7-mile Hungaroring today. It's 6 lefts and 8 rights around a lap here, with average speeds in the region of 120 miles per hour. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn one as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, and Valtteri Bottas will line up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Vettel, Charles Leclerc and Albon, Norris, Sainz, Perez and Kimi Raikkonen, Hülkenberg, Magnussen, Pierre Gasly and Grosjean, Kvyat, Ricciardo, Lance Stroll and Antonio Giovinazzi. Kubica and George Russell ends our grid lineup. Now it's almost time to lights out, so let's go down to the track.
Right, let's be patient going into turn one. We want to be in a good position for the rest of the race. Good luck.
So starting in P4 then, on the second row of the grid. I thought we started P5. That might have been our teammate behind us, never mind. So obviously just once again the one stop, and yeah, we've lap 6 to 12. But on lap 6 we'll be going onto the mediums, of which we'll do 12 laps on them. We do have Verstappen in front of us, but it's 3, 4, 5 lights and it's lights out, and away we go for the Hungarian Grand Prix. It's a good start on Verstappen. I don't know about my teammate Charles, he seems to have dropped back a little bit. Into turn one now, the two Mercedes are going to go side by side. We're going to go side by side with Verstappen. I think we've got a little tap on the rear with by Albon. But we're going to see if we can go round the outside of Max Verstappen, but we're just going to hold back for now and try and, you know, wait for the right opportunity to make a good move. Into turn 4, I think, into 5 and 6 maybe, I'm not too sure. So we hit the curb slightly. Now into the hairpin. The hairpin chicane, sorry. Quite bumpy on the curb on the right, so we might avoid that for some of the laps in this race. But you know, still in P4. It's been a decent. Well, it's been an okay start. Still in 4th place where we qualified. Not much has changed. However, Albon has got in front of our teammates, so yeah, he's going to see if he can attack us next.
Okay, we're through the start phase. Now let's build on it.
On to lap 2 now, and Verstappen's kind of getting away a little bit. Got Alex Albon looking for a move potentially. He was gaining quite rapidly on the straight, probably running less wings than us. I believe we're running 8 wings, because this is basically Monaco but without the walls. Really, there's not many straights other than the start-finish one. So yeah, the cars in front are starting to pull out at a bit of a gap. I'm not particularly strong at this circuit as we cut the corner a little bit, but all is good. We run a little bit wide, but it doesn't affect us too much. And yeah, we're just comfortably sitting in P4 for now. We're not being attacked too much by Alex Albon, who is, I'm sure, will be looking for a move on us shortly. But we're trying to stay within the 1 second window of Verstappen, so we can get the DRS on the next lap. Because obviously this will be lap 3, so we won't get it now, but we will get it next time round. So through the final corner,
What happened? Let me know you're okay.
basically, guys, my finger slipped on the analog stick. Look, just if you don't believe me, look at the steering wheel. Look at the steering wheel. Ready. There you can see. Look. I'll even go first person. Look. See, I'm on it. And then look. There you go. You can see it's completely flat. And then, so if you don't mind, I'm just going to go back here and do that. Now into the final corner, as I was saying previously. This time I don't slip on the analog stick.
Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available.
DRS is now available, but we're going to have to try and gain in on Verstappen a little bit more if we want to have a chance, and also try and keep within the DRS range. I believe we are falling a little bit off the pace. Make sure, I should have said this at the start, but make sure to like and subscribe. I should do it as early on in the video as I can. But yeah, on to lap 3, like and subscribe. Do it now. Doesn't take long, does it? All you've got to do is scroll down and just click a button. I mean, it's not like you're going to miss anything. If you want, you could even pause the video if you want to kind of watch everything. But we're currently a 10th out of the DRS window, so hopefully we can gain in like now a little bit more on Verstappen, so we can hopefully get the DRS. I'm not sure we've gained enough time to get the DRS. Yeah, I don't think we've got the DRS, guys, so we're going to be alone. Well, not really alone. We're going to have Alex Albon joining us for company on the inside. So he goes down the inside. We're going to try and hold it round the outside, but he gets the move done. Still has the DRS. Oh, really late on the brakes, almost went into his right rear tyre. And Charles Leclerc's now looking for a move on us, our teammate. Currently in P3 in the championship. That was close, Alex. Hopefully we can get past Albon as soon as possible, as we do actually ride into the back of him there, but luckily the full damage setting didn't give us any front wing damage. Now hopefully if we just try and stay within the 1 second window, we're going to have DRS on the Red Bull driver on the straight, so that's an easy overtaking opportunity with the DRS. But oh god, we've got Charles Leclerc looking up our inside. That was bold. We did run a little bit deep, so I don't blame him for giving it a go. We're going to put the ERS up into high, and there's a slow car. It's Max Verstappen again. The Red Bull team having an absolute nightmare with their mechanical failures. And there's another retirement from Max Verstappen. That's not going to help him out in his championship run, but we are quite slow actually. Could be my setup, but we're losing quite a bit of time to the cars in front. And we're going to put the fuel down to second. I might have to let Charles Leclerc go by just to give him a chance at overtaking Alex Albon, because I'm really struggling to try and catch up with him here. So the AI proving what they're worth at Hungary with their high difficulty level. We are on ultimate somewhere in like the 100 and somethings. I can't quite remember what we're on, but yeah, we're Hamilton and Bottas have got a massive lead over us, guys. About 5 seconds maybe, possibly even more. But I reckon Charles Leclerc will get past, so I'm just going to let him go by now, and he can have a chance to attack Alex Albon. If we can just stay within you know, the DRS window of him, then it should be good. But we've completely gone wide at the final corner, and we're actually gonna box this lap. So once again, being the first ones of the Ferrari drivers to come into the pits, but that is unless Charles Leclerc does come in. But I don't think he'll come in. I reckon the pit window's ours to take, despite the fact we are second driver on track. Now on to lap 6, we're about a third of the way into the race and we're in P5. It's not bad. It's only one position lower than where we qualified, but the two Mercedes are storming off with this race win. Good for them in the constructors, whereas me and Leclerc are sat in P4 and 5. It's decent, but it's not as, you know, we could always try and get more points, but But yeah, we'll do our best to see where we can finish. Hopefully we can finish above, oh, 5th or above, and keep Sainz at bay.
Remember to pit this lap.
And we are going to come into the pits at the end of this lap and see if we can get the jump on some of the cars in front like we saw at Germany. It worked amazingly, but Leclerc stays out, everyone stays out other than a Mercedes. And yeah, what a weird pit lane, but we don't speed, which is good, and we're going to go into a change of tyres. Onto the medium tyres now. We do get held quite a bit as we are inside a Haas. 2.8 second pit stop. It's not going to be the best, so hopefully we can make up time on our out lap. Try and gain in on Leclerc and Albon.
See these tyres through to the end now.
And unfortunately, it doesn't look like the Mercedes who pit, I believe it's Hamilton, hasn't come out in any traffic, so he's not going to be held up too much. Whereas we have, well, we've come out pretty much in the middle of nowhere. We've got a few cars, like we've got Williams of Kubica in 12th, who hasn't pitted yet, and he's quite far. He's 4 seconds up the road, so excellent strategy from us, and hopefully we can try and jump Leclerc and Albon when they pit. I'm assuming they'll come into the pits at the end of this lap. It'd be weird if they stayed out for another lap, but we'll just have to wait and see. As the other Mercedes pit, so I do think is Valtteri Bottas. And yes, Leclerc and Albon do come into the pits. So this could actually be quite close. They might get held up as well by some of the other guys, but I don't think they will actually. I think they're going to have a big enough gap, but it's hard to tell as the Williams of Robert Kubica comes into the pits as well. We're coming through the final corner, and I don't think it's going to be close because we did get held up in the pit lane.
6.7 seconds.
And there they are, they come out in front of us, but about the same gap as when we went in, so
0 seconds.
I reckon if we didn't get held up we could have actually come out in front of Leclerc. Maybe not Albon, but we could have had a chance to go side by side into turn 1. So we're now in P6, however there is a Renault who has not pitted yet. I think that would be Nico Hulkenberg. So we lose the rear a little bit on the So now we've got some overtaking to do down in P8, but you know, that's it's annoying. I told you in qualifying that curb is an absolute nightmare. We just clip the curb with our tyre and then sends us into spin. But anyway, we're going to go for a move around the outside of Sergio Perez and the Racing Point. Sorry, no, we're not going to go for a move around the outside of Sergio Perez, because he's just going to keep it down the inside and then he's going to knock off our front wing. But anyway, we're going to have the DRS on him. We've got our former teammate behind us, Kimi Raikkonen. I'm going to go for a move down the inside. I believe he's got damage. Yeah, he's got front right damage as well. Interestingly, because he was on the inside, so don't know how that works. But anyway, we're now going to go around the outside and try and close into Carlos Sainz, who's about 2.5 seconds up the road with 9 laps to go. So we're at the 50% stage of this race, and we're down in P6 chasing the McLaren of Carlos Sainz, the man who is confirmed to be replacing Vettel next season. So let's see what we can do up against the Spaniard then. So seems to be the Mercedes 1-2, however they have separated quite a bit actually after the pit stops. They were close, previously close together on track before, but now there's a bit of a gap forming between them. Kimi Raikkonen getting past Perez with his wing damage after colliding with us. We now still in P6 on lap 9, about to start lap 10. So this race has gone pretty quickly, but there's still halfway to go. here at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Into turn 1 now, braking just after the 100-meter board. Second or third gear, but third gear is better on the traction, I find. And don't really know what to say, to be honest. I'm just gonna, you know, I'll let you guys I'll just be quiet until we catch up the signs, and I'll let you enjoy the Ferrari.
Battery charge is high. Let's increase ERS deployment to up the pace.
So we've now caught up to the back of Sainz in the orange and blue McLaren. We're within the DRS range, so let's see what we can do potentially into turn 1, maybe even turn 2. We'll have to wait and see. But hopefully we can just stick with him enough to get within the DRS range. We still do have that front wing damage with Sergio Perez earlier, quite close to the rear actually. But we need to be careful not to hit him here, as we're currently on lap 12 out of 18. They're about to start lap 13, and we are going to get the DRS. There it is on the bottom right, as you can see. We're going to go all the way up into overtake actually, not quite hot lap, and now down the straight. He's going to go defensive. We're going to look for the outside line. He does lock up a fair bit, but we're going to try and go around the outside, run a little bit wide. Thanks Jeff, I am aware. Maybe we're going to look for the outside potentially, but there's not enough room to go on the outside yet. We'll just have to keep waiting. We're going to keep behind him for now and just take our opportunity when it best comes to us. We don't want to ruin our race by hitting him or going for a reckless move. Maybe we can have a look for the inside. Nah, didn't quite get the exit off the curb, but we're now all over the back of the McLaren. You can just see you can just see us prancing by. Oh dear. We're going to get him in turn 1. Oh, never mind. It's going to go defensive. We can go around the outside of him here. This is going to be close. I'm going to hang in. I'm going to hang back for now and then get the DRS. Here's the activation point. And we're going to pull it all the way up into overtake mode. Get into his slipstream. Move to the inside. And this should be hopefully an easy move. And there you go, that's us up into P5. This will probably be where we end up finishing. I don't see us gaining on Alex Albon anytime soon. But we're now on to lap 14 out of 18. 9.9 second gap in front, so yeah, we're going to have to gain by 5 seconds a lap. Not 5 seconds, sorry, 2.5 seconds a lap in order to reduce the gap, but I don't think that's going to happen. And hopefully we should run quite a nice clean race in P5 and come home with the 10 points that we're going to get from coming in 5th. So it's going to be okay for the championship, but Lewis is going to get the full 25. I believe he's the Mercedes who's winning the race, but we'll find out on the final lap obviously. But I think I've said enough in this race, and while there's not going to be any more on track battles with me, then I can just let you listen to the engine and of this the Ferrari. So hasta la vista.
ERS to overtake, please. Push now. There's 3 laps of fuel remaining. We're increasing our gap on the car behind by around a second a lap. Copy that. Our gap to the car in front is 9.7 seconds. Increase ERS deployment. It's time to use some of this charge. This is your final lap of the race. Hamilton's out in front.
So Lewis Hamilton has won the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 12 out of 21. Valtteri Bottas will come across the line to finish in P2, followed by a teammate in P3. Then Alex Albon in 4th for the Red Bull team, and we're going to come through the final corner now. From P4 on the grid, it's not been the best of qualies or the best of race day, but it's a 5th place, it's points nevertheless, and yeah, that's going to have a little bit of a blow on our championship, but yeah.
So, another fantastic victory for the Silver Arrows. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
And I can see the drivers starting to approach the podium for the victory celebrations. A real team victory today. Everybody played their part. Congratulations then to Mercedes, your race winners today. Let's see how the driver standings have changed. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Some amazing talents out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Roman Grosjean's my driver of the day. I don't think I've ever seen such a strong performance from him.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. Mercedes move to the top of the table. Well, Ant, an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So there is your final grid there. We've got Lewis Hamilton winning the race, followed by Valtteri Bottas also picking up an extra point for the fastest lap. Then Charles Leclerc finishing up in the podium positions, followed by Alex Albon and Sebastian Vettel. Carlos Sainz and Kimi Raikkonen fit a 6th and 7th. Roman Grosjean getting drive for the day in 8th after starting 14th, followed by Lando Hulkenberg, who rounds up the top 10. Just outside the top 10 we've got Kevin Magnussen, Daniel Kvyat, Daniel Ricciardo, followed by Gasly and Stroll and Antonio Giovinazzi in 16th. Sergio Perez, after colliding with us, finishes in 17th. Robert Kubica and George Russell round out the grid of the ones who finished, and the only retiree being Max Verstappen with his engine failure. Onto the standings then. Our gap at the top comes back down to 2 points then, with the gap extending, well I say extending, the gap's now, the points now 54 points to Valtteri Bottas, who jumps ahead of our teammate by 2 points. So it's looking really close between us four. In the Constructors, Mercedes move ahead of us and now equal on points. So that's really interesting. The Mercedes team equal with Ferrari and Constructors. So the Constructors and the Drivers' Championship will probably go right down to the wire as Red Bull move further away from us, from Ferrari. That has been the Hungarian Grand Prix. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and yeah, we'll stay tuned for the next one in Spa for the Belgian Grand Prix. And until then, see ya.